G'day guys, Gordon here with Guardians of Freedom. I'm going to steal some more of your life, but hopefully help you while I do so. I want to talk about a fun subject today, which is archery shooting. I definitely recommend it. Is a very fun activity to get involved in. It's something where you'll learn some amazing skills that you can use for hunting or for sport shooting or whatever else that you enjoy. So I am not an expert in archery or anything like that, but I definitely started getting into it from around 2020 onwards. When I was a little kid, I think we did some archery, but I forgot all that stuff when I was young. So I'm making this video firstly to recommend it's a great thing to get into. I'm also going to let you know that at Guardians of Freedom, we're going to be doing some archery activities as a group. And it's a great activity that men and women can do both together. So it's not something that only for men or only for women. It's a great joint activity. And I can't encourage you guys enough to get into it and enjoy it. So look out for that, guys. We'll make an archery day. I promise you we'll do that. So I want to help you guys with selecting your equipment that you choose. And I'm going to give you, I guess, my research and knowledge that I acquired when I was looking into buying a bow for myself. People that know me know that I'm pretty pedantic in the research I do before I buy anything, because I am a bit of a tight ass and I don't like to just part with my money unless I know that the particular item I'm buying suits my personal needs and is a quality item for the price I pay. And I also look at situations that I'm buying something for. I will be doing a four-wheel drive video as well for you guys. That's going to be a bit longer. So let me break down what I found. Now, effectively, I found out there's two types of bows. You have a compound bow and a traditional recurve bow. Okay, a compound bow is the bow that has all the gears and pulleys at the front. A recurve bow is simply a piece of wood and a string. Okay, it's a very simple thing. Now, within the traditional recurve bow, you also have the type of wood that's used is quite important. Now, within the recurve bow, the type of wood I recommend is called a composite bow. Composite bow means they've used several different types of wood to form one piece. And they usually will find something flexible, something strong, and mix them up together. And what that does is it creates a piece of wood that's extremely flexible, but also extremely strong. So that's your recurve bow. Within the traditional recurve bow, which is just your string and wood, you have then the, I guess, European style or the English style longbow. Okay, and then you have the Asiatic style, which has shorter bows. The English style bow, the longbow, I mean, most of the European bows are the same, similar long bows. So they're extremely long and they're quite heavy. The Asiatic style is quite a bit shorter bow. They also have different styles of shooting. So traditional European shooting, if we look at the bow like this, they will actually load the arrow on the inside of the bow. Okay, so then they draw back. Okay, so you bring it in and you're putting the arrow on the inside. With the Asiatic style of shooting, they are loading on the outside. Okay, I'm going to go through the advantages and disadvantages here. I'm sure you guys can probably think of them already. When we think about the Asiatic style bow, we can think about medieval cultures such as the Huns, the Mongols, the Chinese, the Turks. They use these shorter style Asiatic bows, and they were horseback warriors, so they developed their shooting style and their bows so that they could fast draw on a horse. They also can fast draw even if you're standing on the ground with these bows, and I'll explain why. So obviously, if you're going to load it on the outside, as opposed to having to bring it up and around onto the inside, it's allows a much faster, simplistic load. Okay, otherwise you have to get it around and get it here. So these guys were able to, on horseback, while bouncing, galloping from their little arrow holders. I know there's a word for it, it's not coming, and just grab it and pull it, bang, bang. Okay, when someone gets comfortable with that kind of shooting style and gets used to it, they can actually shoot arrows at amazing speeds, back to back, back to back. And I've seen some videos on YouTube with obviously expert shooters, expert archers, shooting at amazing speeds using that Asiatic style shooting with an Asiatic bow. Okay, so that's, I guess, a bit of a background on the types of bows. Now, the major advantage to the recurve bow, in particular the Asiatic recurve bow, is it's much smaller and much lighter, and they're more simple. So the compound bow with the gears and the pulleys, what that allows you to do is become a better archer than you really are. Okay, so the gears and pulleys make shooting at high speeds, in other words, generating power, easier, and it makes accuracy easier. Okay, so if you are someone that just wants easy, that might work for you. However, the big advantage of the recurve bow is it's light, so you can pack 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, no problem, and take it with you wherever you go, very light. But the biggest thing for me was I started thinking about those gears, and I thought, what happens if you're in a situation where you can't get to any spare parts, okay, or you don't have the tools with you to do a repair, or you don't have the right environment to be able to sit down and do a repair. So if one of those gears or pulleys dies on you, you're in trouble if you have a compound bow. Okay, that steered me towards the traditional recurve bow for that purpose, where I start thinking, if I'm in that kind of situation where I'm out somewhere far away in the bush and I can't access my tools or spare parts, the recurve bow is just simple. It's a piece of wood with a string. Strings, you can carry plenty of them and they don't cost that much. So the other advantage, the recurve bows are much cheaper to purchase. So compound bow will give you better shooting, better power, better accuracy. Okay, but if those gears go, you've got a problem. Now, I know some people will say, well, you can carry some spare parts with you. Yeah, you can. Okay, the compound bow is heavier and bulkier than a recurve bow. So my selection, I decided I want to go with a recurve bow, and basically it requires a bit more training, so you need to practice with that bow. That's how I made my selection. Now, everyone's entitled to what suits them best, and I'm just giving you guys my information that I picked up and what my deduction was on that. But whatever you do, I think it's a great sport to get into. So go out and grab something now while you can. I'll say that. And I'll give you guys the name of the website I bought my bows from. It's a Chinese website, but this particular website is quite well renowned through the archery industry as a good quality supplier. People who have seen my bows, archery people have actually looked at it and gone, "Ooh, this is quite nice." And I didn't pay a lot of dollars for mine. alibow.com. Okay, and I'd recommend to get a composite bow. You can get the Turkish style, you can get the Mongol style, you can get the what's the other one? The Han style bows. But I think they're under $100, and you can get your whole package. And they sell arrows as well. Arrows is another thing that where you got to decide what type of arrows you want. Now the arrows are based on the draw strength and the size of the bow, so you got to be matching them when you buy your bow. I went with carbon fiber arrows, and you can buy hunting heads for them as well. So you can screw off the normal head, which is just made to go into a board, and you can buy these hunting heads and put them in for hunting. Okay, so I think I've covered just about everything, guys. But if you do go with a compound bow, okay, I still would recommend grab yourself a couple of recurve bows and keep them as your backups in case something happens to that compound bow. So at least you've got one or two recurve bows and a couple of strings. And I'd also recommend practicing with the recurve bow, even if you do use a compound bow. Now, down the track, I might buy a compound bow, but for me personally, I felt I want to get good with the recurve bow and just stick with the recurve bow. That's for me what I decided, but each to their own. So, guys, I hope that helps. And like I said, look out for our archery days. It's something I really want to set up so our group can get together and have a bit of fun. It's going to be so fun. Shooting is so fun. If you've never done archery, it's actually really fun. Just the feeling when you let that arrow go and it goes and lands where you want it to land, hopefully. Such a fun activity. So look out, guys, for that, and stay well. Take care out there.